Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day as we finish our way through Superman issue 5, The Isle of Menace, which is an okay title. The island's actually not a big part of the story, but I guess it works. Probably something with a planner in it probably would have been a better title. But as we have been going through issue 5, I've actually really enjoyed Superboy issue 5. And guess what? The third and final story is actually still pretty good. I actually really love this story. It is great for a Golden Age story. It has set up with a villain. The villains are getting away from Superboy, not because he gets distracted or there's some sort of complication that lets them get away. They actively defeat Superboy until Superboy eventually defeats them. That's a good way to build up the stakes. They're actually triumphant against Superboy multiple times. It's actually something interesting when he takes them out at the end. Superboy is funny. I've been thinking about this a lot recently, and I think there's a reason that people really love to post the one Superman story, which we've covered. I forget what issue it was and what the name of the story was, but it's an earlier Superman story where a old couple, are running a foundry in their orphanage, making the kids work. So when Superman goes to investigate it, they attack him with the different forge equipment, including an anvil hitting him in the teeth and him making a comment about it being like a toothpick. And I think more famously when he melts down a sword and drinks it and makes a comment about it, like quenching his thirst. Those are really fun moments with Superman where he's actually being funny. And that was a very small era of Superman in the Golden Age. He isn't like that a lot. Batman kind of is, and I think that's part of the reason I've been enjoying Batman stories a little bit more, because Batman's a lot more fun. Superman just kind of runs in and tosses people around. And another thing about this issue is it actually feels lived in. Smallville, or whatever the hell has been Smallville, it is Smallville now, but it hadn't been Smallville. If you have been watching these videos, it wasn't Smallville or made clear to be Smallville at the beginning. Feels lived in. It feels like an actual place. We actually see him do things there. We sometimes see him go to school, but this is just like set up for him to go to the next thing. We see him playing with his friends here on bicycles for a little bit before the crime happens, or see him get his laundry done, or him at the library. Smallville feels like an active place. Most stories don't put that much work into it. Just a tiny bit that, well, he was up to something and then he gets away. And in fact, he has to actually think of clever ways of getting away. More than once, there is a difficulty to the story and clever solutions with his powers. And you know what? Enjoyable, instead of just like the bare minimum. So here, man, we haven't gotten to the plot yet, there is an Island X, which a bunch of criminals are listening to some mysterious character called the Planner, who wants to take out Superboy. This is their entire focus. It's all about defeating Superboy, though they are committing crimes while doing it. This actually sounds familiar to one story that is one of my favorites of the Golden Age, and that was 50 Ways to Kill Superman. It's one of the 3 stories I really love that I brought up quite a few times. In that story, there was an Island X, except that one was brand new. It literally popped up around the criminals as they were having a meeting in the middle of the ocean. Wonderful concept. This has to be a different Island X. And it's about thinking of clever ways to defeat Superboy, who will become Superman. And their solutions are clever. Attack Superboy's vision, which is superior. Attack his sense of smell. All of them work, and they're able to get away with their crimes pretty easily against him. Instead of like putting someone's life in risk, which is a fine way of getting away. It's actually the other way you can do this. But they actually defeat Superboy instead of just delaying the inevitable. Sometimes criminals just get away from it. The solution is Superboy eventually just finds them. Instead of just defeating them, he decides to make it embarrassing for them by using his super ventriloquism to make it sound like he's the planner, and gives them a really bad idea about, attacking his funny bone. And that doesn't work. In fact, he starts eating bullets, and as he puts it, yum yum, like gumdrops. So yeah, I'm into this Superboy. He's never particularly all that funny. He just kind of says something and knocks somebody around. And if you're wondering who the Planner is, it's a bit of a disappointment. It's just one of the gang members has been pretending to be the Planner the entire time. Secretly has been the Planner the whole time. There's no huge reveal that it's secretly a young Lex Luthor or something. It's a bit of a disappointment, but he actually was a pretty entertaining villain, even though I don't remember his name. And I could probably look it up and tell you, but it doesn't matter. He's not going to show back up. It was a solid idea, even though the Planner is a pretty generic villain. I mean, Spider-Man has the Master Planner, who turned out to be Otto Octavius, and I think other characters have secretly been the Planner, but it's usually Octavius. But I would love more stories of this kind, as Superboy issue 5 is a pretty solid comic and one of the best as we've been covering Superman stories in the Golden Age. Okay, that is it from Superboy issue 5, The Isle of Menace, or The Island of Menace. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe with the bell icon to get notification when new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover Batman story and other Detective Comics or Batman. Until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the boy of tomorrow? And what happened to Isle X? There are so many weird little layer islands that we can just call Island X at this point. Okay, have a great day.